So in this video, we're going to install the C and C++ compiler for Windows. So this is where we left off in the last video. We had installed VS Code and these two extensions over here, C and C++ and Code Runner. But we have to install the compiler separately. So in order to do that, we're going to come over here to where it says GCC and MingW-W64 on Windows, and we'll click on this. And that'll bring up this link in this web browser. And it's just a series of steps to be able to install the compiler. So I'm going to scroll this up a little bit here. And these first two steps here, we've already completed. First, to install Visual Studio Code, and then to install the C and C++ extension for VS Code, which is what this is over here. And then we're going to do these two steps here. It says to get the latest version of this software, you go to this website here. And then in step 4, it just says follow the instructions on that website, especially step 7. So I'm going to come up here and click on this, and that opens this page. So I'll scroll up a little bit here, and if you click on this box, it will download the installer. So I'll click on this, and then once that downloads, I'm going to click on Open File, or you could go to your Downloads folder and double click on it there, but I'll just open it from here. And what I will also do is minimize Visual Studio Code and just focus on these windows. But I will just accept all of the defaults. We will need this directory path. I'm going to leave that as default. I recommend that you do that as well. But I'll just finish clicking through this and let this install. So once this finishes installing, you'll get this screen. Make sure that this box is checked and click Finish. And that will bring up this window over here. So if we go back to our browser, there are some other steps we have to do here. This step is just saying make sure that box is checked and click Finish. That's what we just did. But there are a few things that we have to do at the command line here to finish the install. So in step 5 here, we're going to just highlight this. I'm just going to right click, say copy, and then come over and paste this in at the command line. And I'll press Enter, and then it will install some additional software. And there are a few times that we'll have to indicate yes or no, and you will always choose yes. Just do Y and Enter. And then again, it's asking you yes or no. We'll just say yes. And that screen will disappear, and we'll come back over to our web browser and go to step 6. And it says run this from the start menu. So I'll come down here to the start menu, and I'll say MSYS, and you can see that this comes up as the best match. I'll press Enter, and that opens this window again. So then I'll come over here and highlight this. I'll say copy, and then I'll paste this. I like doing a copy and paste because it makes it where I am not going to have any typos. And I'll press Enter. And down here we'll say yes. And then one final step here is step 7. We'll highlight this, and we'll say copy. Come over here, and we'll paste this. And press Enter. And then down here it says enter a selection. Default is all. You just have to press Enter. And then we'll say yes. So that step takes a little while to install. So I'm just fast forwarding to here, and it will look something like this. So that's everything that we need to do on that tab of the browser. I'm going to come back to our original tab here and move down to step 5. So in this step, we need to add a path for the bin folder for this software. So step 1 in the Windows search bar, type Settings. So I'll do that by coming down here and just typing in Settings. And I'll press Enter. And we'll come back to the browser here and search for Edit Environmental Variables for your account. So you just come over here for Find a Setting, and I'll say Edit Environmental Variables, and you can see where this came up here. And I'll click on this. Come back over here to our instructions. Step 3, choose the path variable in your user variables and select edit. So very important that you do user variables. And what we're going to type in there is going to be this. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. This is why I suggested that you use the default where this installs. If you didn't use the default, you will need to use the appropriate path for wherever you installed this. So coming back over here, you can see that this is user variables and then system variables. We want user variables. Make sure you highlight path, and here we're going to click edit. And then we're going to click on new. I'm going to paste this here, and I'll click OK. And then I'll click OK again, and then I'll also close this settings folder. So now we're going to check our installation. So to check the installation, we'll need a command prompt. So I'll come down here and I'm going to type in command, and I'm going to click enter. And then we need to come down here. I will copy and paste this, or you can just type it as G++ and then -- version. So I'll paste that here and press enter, and you can see that we have a version number here. If this was not installed, instead of getting the version number, it would indicate that there's some kind of problem that this can't be found. So we'll do that for this line down here as well. And I'll say copy, and then I'll say paste, and you can see that we have a version number for this as well. So now we can go ahead and close the command prompt. And if you scroll up some more, it's going to say create hello world. Now I'm not going to do it the way they do it here on this web page, where you're going to do all of this from the command line to make a directory or whatever. So you can either do this from the command line, or you can just create a folder somewhere in Windows. And that's the way I'm going to do this. I already have a folder created. I'm going to minimize all of this and bring VS Code back up. So you can create that folder wherever you want, on your desktop or in your documents folder or wherever. I'm going to come up to File, and then I'm going to say Open Folder. So I have mine in my Documents folder. I've called mine CPP. I'm going to select this folder, and then I want to say, yes, I trust the authors, because that's me. And you can see that CPP folder is open here. This is our folders for the code that we'll create in the course. I'm going to come up to Miscellaneous, and I have helloworld.cpp. So I'm going to click on this, and I have a hello world over here, simple program. Just need to make sure that C++ is working, and I'll click on this play button up here, which will run the code. And you can see down here that that is printed out hello world, which means that our compiler is installed correctly. So now that you're done with this step, go to the additional configuration video that will apply to all operating systems, Windows, Linux, and Mac, and I will see you in that video.